Welcome back to Yellow Skunk Farms. Quick disclaimer. This is a 21-year-old and up channel. If you're not 21, please leave the channel now. We would appreciate it for educational purposes only. So as you can see, we've got some seeds laying out here. I took some Kimmy Pure bags out of the other and just set them over here. I'm really starting to see a lot of growth, a lot of bacteria blooms, psyllium bloom. Look at that. All that white hairs. It's just coming from the moisture and a little bit of FAA we put in. That stuff is going to town under there. Crazy where you set these down and then go underneath and see, you can see the mycelium building wherever we lay these Kimmy Pure bags down. All the bacteria and biology that's trapped, all the fish waste trapped in that biochar in there. You gotta have the microbes are just going to town in there on those things. So we got some Sweet Success cucumbers. I got some Christmas lima beans, some peas. These are just stuff I had laying around, some extras. Carrots, cosmic purple. I've got some okra. I've got some asparagus, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, onions. Got a tomato in here. We will be going live today at 10 o'clock. We're going to be planting, we're going to fill these up and just, play around in here around 10 o'clock for an hour or so. There's my basil over there. You can see the splash zone. And once I get a plant in here, it will start wicking up some of that water. And the excess water will just keep on going down into the E horizon, we hope anyway. Can you see the pump? I can see the pump. I don't know if you can or not, but that's first day, day 3. This is day 3 since we turned it on. I'm just starting to see the pump now. I can see the sand and the silt built up on it. But anyway, that's what we got going on this one. Over here, we're day 46 of flower. And it looks not too bad, for crashing the system. Not running any CO2 in here at all. I know that's a big no-no for these. We really should be pushing CO2, but I just don't have any. Oh man, that Angeline is just funky, fruity. Tell you, for being stressed like they were, I'm shocked that they're actually producing like they are, or like just, still producing. I mean, this is the one that took the hardest hit. The Angeline took the hardest hit. You can see it. You can see the tips, burnt tips. We probably went from no newts to too much. The swing in here probably from the crash just, made it extremely difficult on these plants. And in some cases, I think that might be the cause of the terp release. I mean, the smell in here is just like, even my wife came out, she opened the door to the house the other day and just stepped outside and was like, oh my goodness, I guess the wind was blowing just right. She's like, that stuff's really starting to smell. I know, it's crazy. I think it's the stress. that they went through during the crash, and now they're coming out of that somewhat, what they can, and just the terps are just insane. And they say stress produces terpenes. That's what terpenes are for, but most of that stress, usually in my opinion, what I've seen, comes from pest pressure, a little bit of pest pressure, maybe some overwatering, high winds, light stress. There's so many different types of stress, but what we did was basically cut the oxygen off in the soil by crashing the creek, and we definitely saw it in the plants. I didn't really see it too much in the bush over here. You're seeing this yellowing a little bit, but that's new growth. All the yellowing, not all of it, but most of it. But I am starting to see a little bit of yellowing, so in the bush here. That's telling me we probably are a little low on maybe a little Epsom salt would help that. Epsom salt's like magnesium and sulfur. Epsom salt is for a garden, not like for a bathtub. We're talking about garden salt here. Just taking a look around, seeing. And what we could do is we could either do foliar spray, or we could do just a pinch. I would say, I usually do a pinch in a gallon of water. Let me show you. This is Epsom salt here. If you're unfamiliar, Epsom salt, plant nutrient, corrects yellowing leaves caused by magnesium and sulfur deficiencies. Now, I have not used any of this in months, so it might be time to do a little foliar. Might be time to put a little around the root zone there for that bush. We are sucking up a lot of nutrients with these bushes and the jasmine and these cannabis and the empress trees. All these things are pulling newts. We're chopping and dropping, but chopping and dropping, it would take a lot to replace what we're taking. And we chop and drop all the time. It just disappears quickly. Plenty of worms. Plenty of life. We will be top dressing this next go around, so we're gonna top dress and get that stuff down in there, get some new newts down in there for the critters to take care of. Basically compost. We're just gonna add compost. We're gonna add some mulch to that. We're gonna add some APSU super soil, just kickstart this back up, get the newts back in the system. Like I said, we've been running for over a year and 6 months. This is a 5th run, and I haven't done hardly anything other than like some foliar feeds. We've added a little IMO 4 and 5, but as far as like adding nutrients to the system, I've just been adding life, getting life in there. As far as nutrients, like crab meal, bone meal, fish meal, all that stuff that's in the super soils, like the APSU super soil. So this is the ingredients. You got worm castings, peat moss, organic, but look down here, organic bone meal, blood meal, kelp meal, neem meal, seabird guano, biochar, oyster shell phosphate, legmanite, asmonite, dolomite, diatomaceous earth. All these things that are in this, we have not added anything in 5 runs. So I was pushing the system to the point where I wanted to see how far it would go. We made it to the 5th run. So the 5th run was where we started seeing problems. Of course, the light had a lot to do with that, with us changing that and crashing the pond and the creek, which set off a chain reaction. And now to recover from that chain reaction, that crash, we reset the pond, we added fresh sand and silt, and now it's time. I think the plants have just absorbed and taken so much of that nutrient, it's time to replenish. So we're going to let these finish. We're going to go through, cut the plants out, we're going to re-amend the bed and the soil pockets. We're going to remove some of the sand and silt from the edges because I think we're wicking a little too much water in certain places. I'm getting water down here in my... See the water down there? That tells me that we are not... We are wicking a lot more water than what we're supposed to up over the creek wall. I knew that was going to happen because we replenished. So we replenished all that sand and silt, which raised the water table, which is going to wick more water that the plants can't absorb right away. So all that extra water goes down through the root zone, down into the E horizon, where it sits there and waits for it to be wicked back up. Right now, the plants just are not wicking anything up. They're completely saturated down there in the root zone. So that can cause a lockout. That can cause a lot of different problems. Check the Monstera. Remember that yesterday? Look how far that thing's come out there. Them things grow like insane, like bamboo. These things are worse than bamboo, I think, sometimes. You give them the right damn environment, and these things will go crazy. Completely taking over Digger's home. And working on this over here. But as you can see, the grasses are just... This diachondra here probably could just be pulled out, but we'll just leave it for now. We do have the grass regrowing over there, like I showed yesterday. This grass here looks like shit, but this Empress is holding up these flowers. So we are dangling over there, you can see. Probably need to get those up a little bit. We'll probably tie some strings to those and pull them up to the light like we did over there. For the most part, I'm just going to let these dangle, let the light hit down to those lowers. Right now we're at 30% on the cool white. Cool white only, no red whatsoever. I'm allowing the creek to recover, and that they love that cool white. Cool white is what's growing, that algae on the edges. Really helps the grass out. So, that being said, I think that's what we got for today. And we will be, like I said, we'll go live today around 10 o'clock. So come check us out, put the notifications on, and when we go live, come on over and hang out with us for a little bit. At least hit the like button anyway for me. So I appreciate it, and we'll see you over there. Peace.